Hey guys, we're about to have lunch with a naturalist today. Follow me.
Hello, and welcome to Lunch with a Naturalist. My name is Whitney, and I am one of the naturalists here at Wargo Nature Center. Raise your hand if you've been to one of our Lunch with a Naturalist presentations before. Awesome. For those who are new, and welcome back to those of you who are coming back for another presentation. So we're going to be learning about crows today. On average, crow wingspan is going to be right around 3 feet, and a raven is going to be quite a bit bigger, closer to almost 5 feet. Ravens are going to look more like a red-tailed hawk in terms of like size in the sky, just a tad smaller, or right around the same size. Now, I have a picture here of crows and ravens, their wingspans in one picture. So we have the two crows there and the raven there. So if you ever see just what appears to be a giant crow in the sky, then it might be a raven.
As they fly, they gauge the weight of each nut and drop it from just the right height to have it crack but not shatter as it hits the pavement. Then they follow the nut down to make sure no one steals it. They've even refined this remarkable talent further. They make sure that the walnuts hit the road just when the traffic signals turn red, eliminating the risk that either they or their walnuts fall victim to the passing traffic.
Their brain and their intelligence allows them to be able to seek out and find and know about all of these different types of foods. Our cleanup crew. Seeds, nuts, yum, 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 and of course, they can even hunt for small mammals. Food means they are taking food that they find and storing it for later, burying it or concealing it, saving it for another day when they don't have as much food. So a lot of animals do that. The difference with crows is how they cache their food and how they keep others from finding their caches.
Kind of agile thinking when it comes to storing their food. First, they hide it. Scientists call this food caching. When they cache, they're on the lookout for any clues that another crow might be spying on them.
Okay.
A mate for life. They have a bonded pair unless their mate dies. They will indeed find a new one then. But in the springtime, February, March, a bonded pair will return to their breeding territory. Sometimes this is not very far at all. Sometimes it is several hundred miles. But a bonded pair will return to their breeding territory. They will build a nest together. They don't usually reuse the nest from last year, but when they return to their breeding territory, their offspring from previous years also will return to that natal area with them. And those offspring, like the yearlings at this point now, they sometimes will assist with building the nest. So bonded pair returns to their breeding grounds, they build a nest, and sometimes their offspring from last year, their 1-year-olds, will help as well. They'll lay some eggs, between 4 and 6 on average. They're a dull bluish, greenish, grayish color with some speckles. And they're incubated for about 18 days. Once the young hatch, they stay in the nest for about 4 or 5 weeks. And they are fed and defended by both the parents, both the male and female, and again, the young from previous years. The young crows, when they are kicked out of the nest around 4 or 5 weeks, they actually can't fly yet. They don't fledge because they can suddenly fly. They fledge because it is deemed more dangerous to be in the nest even without flight, just as they have grown bigger. It's more dangerous to stay in the nest versus being on the ground as a semi-flightless bird. So during those first few weeks after they've left the nest, that they're learning how to fly still, their family protects them. Both the mother and the father, male and female, the breeding pair will protect them as well as their siblings from last year. The family works together to protect them, and they will hide and explore and start learning all the good things that crows need to learn with their communal winter roost that exists in downtown Minneapolis.
If you've been in the vicinity of Loring Park during evening hours lately?
It is,
You've probably felt it.
but it's also cool. I mean, just to see these massive amounts of birds swirling around.
Crows everywhere.
But it's an amazing spectacle.
Watching them closely is Sharon Steitler, a birder.
They start doing what's called staging, so you'll see that there's larger numbers, and then those larger numbers join with the others.
And this February, they've chosen Loring Park as the location for their winter crow roost.
Crows will gather by the thousands to sleep together at night in the winter. This is only in the winter.
They're not mating. Steitler says that doesn't happen until mid-March. Instead, they're forming a safe haven from predators.
They will come as far as 20 miles away in a radius.
Indicators. Here's the rundown of calls you will hear from crows. Studies suggesting that crows can understand the concept of zero and count out loud.
I want to just go back and touch on that, how he said research suggests that crows might be able to recognize individuals. So part of the reason for that is, as scientists have studied the different sounds that crows make, they've noticed that crows will respond differently to the same set of calls depending on who makes them. And essentially they heard two different crows making the same type of caw in the same series, having the same tempo, and another crow, a family member, would respond only to the series of caws from their family member. Alright, so you are a crow, and there is some tasty food inside a really deep hole in a tree. Your beak does not reach the tasty treat. You have a series of tools that you can use to try to get it out. You cannot move this. This is going to stay like that, so you can't tilt it, can't shift it around. I will hold it down while you are trying to retrieve this tasty bit of food. Here are the tools that are at your disposal. I'm going to move it this way just so that other people can see better.
Is it a spider in there?
It is a grasshopper fly.
Oh, good.
Wow.
We got the tasty morsel of a delicious fly out of the hole in the tree. So give a round of applause again.
All right, guys, that's all for today. I want to remind y'all to crow out and enjoy nature. Haha, like go crow. Anyways, Ranger T out.